Hello and welcome to Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer, your host for the program. Greatly appreciate you being with us today. We've got a really good show lined up for you. Robin Young. Robin is the director of the Preservation Resource Center in New Orleans. Sharree Walls. She is with the YMCA. Lee Vail. Lee is the president of the Lafayette Square Conservancy, and he's got some information that I know you'll find interesting about Lafayette Square. And finally, our good friend Jerry Bologna. Jerry is the executive director for JEDCO, and he's going to be talking about the upcoming JEDCO Challenge. Stay with us. We've got a great show again. Appreciate you being here. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. We greatly appreciate it. Our first guest in the studio is Robin Young. Robin is the director of the Preservation Resource Center of New Orleans. Robin, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
I believe this is your first time to be on the show.
It is.
And with that, what we like to do with our first-time guests, just tell us a little bit about the organization, sort of the mission of your organization, what you do, what you're all about, and maybe some successes that you've had.
Okay. Well, we are actually celebrating our 40th anniversary this year. We've been around since 1974. Thank you so much. And our mission is really to promote the historic neighborhoods and architecture of New Orleans that are such a part of the culture of New Orleans. We have many different programs focused on rebuilding the city and promoting our incredible historic architecture.
Now, is it mainly just to focus on the city of New Orleans, or do you do other parishes, or just mainly New Orleans?
Mainly New Orleans. Okay. We are in New Orleans. So before the storm, we were making critical home repairs for low-income families and fighting for legislation that protects our historic architecture. Of course, after Katrina, our mission expanded, and we've rebuilt, over 400 houses since Katrina. But we love the architecture of New Orleans, large and small.
It is special. It is very special.
It really is.
Let's talk about, you've got, and congratulations again on 40 years.
Thank
but what's
you.
more important, you have your 39th annual holiday home tour coming up. Talk a little bit about that.
We do.
39th annual.
Yeah, it is amazing. Actually, the first couple of ones were actually done by candlelight at night, which is amazing to think of. But this year, the tour is on Saturday and Sunday, December 13th and 14th. And it's a walking tour through the Garden District of 7 private homes that are all, dressed up for the holidays. So it's really just an amazing opportunity and a lovely holiday tradition.
Now the homes, how are the 7 homes selected to be a part of this?
We have some amazingly gracious supporters who, volunteer to open their homes for this and let several thousand people come through their homes over the weekend.
And I'm sure they're decorated for the holidays and
amazingly so, amazingly so. I always say if you get one, great decorating idea, you've scored.
Now, your website is prcno.org.
That's correct.
That on the screen. So everything about the home tour is on the website.
It is.
Tickets, things.
Tickets available.
Is there a cost for this?
Tickets day of the tour are $45. In advance, they're $40 on the website.
Okay. Is there a chance that it could sell out, or is it?
The tour won't sell out. Our patron party has already sold out. Wow, and the tickets are good for either day. So you could see a couple houses on Saturday and a couple on Sunday, or do them all in one day, whatever you like.
Now, is the Resource Center, is it are you looking for volunteers to help? I mean, we get asked a lot of questions about where can I volunteer? And I mean, are you guys looking for volunteers to come in and help with some of the work that you do?
We absolutely are. Of course, we'll need hundreds of volunteers to run the holiday home tour. Okay. But our program Rebuilding Together, which is the one that does critical home repairs for low-income families, we use thousands of volunteers during the year.
Okay, and then all that information can be found on the website.
Absolutely.
How to get in contact with
Absolutely.
You. That's great. Robin, thank you so much again for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it. Good luck to you with your happy holiday tour.
Well, thank you. I brought y'all some tickets, so I hope to see you out there.
We'll definitely take you up on that.
Great.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana again. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Our guest is Sharree Walls. She is the assistant to the president and the CEO for the YMCA. Pretty big responsibility. Do they ever fight over who gets to use you for what?
They're actually the same person.
They're the same person. Oh, that makes it a little bit easier. Sharree, welcome to the show. Appreciate you taking time to be here. YMCA, tell us a little bit about the YMCA, the mission of the organization, kind of what you do, and some of the successes that you've had.
Yeah. So most people know us, for healthy living, maybe swim lessons or summer camp, but we're really about strengthening communities, and we have 3 focus areas: youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. And our success is working with people every day just to help them have a full, healthy, and well life.
Mm-hmm. Do you know how long the YMCA's been in New Orleans?
Yes, we've been here for a little while. The Y started here in 1852. We're actually the 5th oldest association in the country.
Really? That's incredible. Now, that's just the city of New Orleans.
Just the city of New Orleans.
Jefferson Parish or anything like that, just New Orleans.
It started in New Orleans, but currently we're in 4 different parishes: Jefferson, Orleans, Plaquemines, and West St. Tammany.
And you're located where?
In those 4 parishes, and so
each parish has a YMCA.
Yes.
Okay, talk a little bit about, we were talking, because I think this is interesting, we were talking before the segment of what brought you here. I think that's a great story.
Sure. Yes, I'm on a postgraduate fellowship through the University of Pennsylvania. It started a year after Katrina. The city needed help rebuilding, and Penn wanted to have a long-term impact, so they sent down 4 to 5 fellows to work under nonprofit CEOs and VPs, so that way we could have a hand in helping the city regrow.
That's great. Congratulations on being selected to do that. Now, you got a big event coming up. It's your 34th annual Corporate Cup. I'm just amazed at some of these organizations that are in their 30s and 40s annual events. I just think that's awesome. So talk a little bit about the Corporate Cup and how people can get involved in that.
Sure. It's December 6th. It's bright and early in the morning, and we call it the Corporate Cup Second Line for Literacy, so it benefits our adult literacy program. But we're also growing it into an overall festival feel. We have Acme Oyster House coming out, Covington Brew House, Sia's, as well as Pinkberry and Pepsi are sponsoring the event.
Wow.
You can also expect the Stooges brass band.
So what happens? Is it a race, or it is a race?
It's a 5K, so that's 3.1 miles.
Okay.
And we have runners and walkers. We have runners and walkers, and we even have a half-mile kids race. So it's a family-friendly event, and we have corporations from around the city who are competing in teams. Have company picnics and hang out after the race.
Well, that's what I was going to recommend. It's something great for companies to get involved with their employees, to do team events. Is it something that you pay to be in? Is it a fundraiser for the organization, or?
Yes. So corporate sponsors can either just participate as teams, but many of the teams that we do have also sponsor the event. And so the sponsor funds go to support the adult literacy program.
Okay, so good food, good fun, good times.
Good cause.
Hope the weather's not 40 degrees.
We hope so too.
So, Sharree, the website is www.ymcaneworleans.org. All the information about the YMCA and then about the race can be found on the website.
It can, and we allow people to register online, but if you'd like to register in person, you can stop by 1050 South Jefferson Davis Parkway.
Is there a cutoff date for registration?
I believe the day before the race.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's good. Well, Sharree, thank you again so much for being a part of the show. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank
This
you.
was your first time on TV, you said.
It was.
And you did great.
Thank you.
Please come back. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana again. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. A very interesting guest, Lee Vail. Lee is the president of the Lafayette Square Conservancy. And Lee, I got to tell you, we were talking before the segment started. I had no idea some of the things about Lafayette Square were there until you mentioned some of this stuff. And you were saying that Lafayette Square is one of the oldest squares in the country.
Right, it is one of the oldest ones. It was laid out in 1788, and actually had a dedication for it in 1825, where Lafayette came and they had a dedication back there in 1825.
Wow.
It's across the street from Gallier Hall. You've got the federal courts just behind it.
Yeah.
And it's an older part of the city. It used to be called it was the American sector shortly after became a state, and it's just got a long history.
That is, and How big is the square itself? I mean, I know.
Well, it's a square block.
I know it's a square.
It's a square block. Dimension-wise, I don't know, but it's large enough that it's a venue for concerts on Wednesdays during the spring and the fall.
And
Wednesdays
that's what I
in Square
know.
is very popular.
It's
a venue for other items, and you'd be amazed the number of people that have weddings in the square. And it's just a nice place to step out from the office downtown and be in a green space.
Well, I had no idea that it would be the oldest square in the country. I didn't know they even knew things like that, quite honestly. That's incredible. So your organization, what is it that you guys do at the Conservancy?
Well, the Conservancy was formed after Katrina. So the city was in dire straits, and trees were down, glass from the downtown areas, it was just a mess. So the Conservancy was formed in December of 2005, and immediately, the goal was to try to clean it up sufficiently that the space could be used again. Now, it is a heavily used space, so then from there it morphed into trying to make it a better space. Yeah. So we do a lot of we maintain with other groups. It's under the direction of Parks and Parkways, and we get a lot of help from the downtown district, the DDD. It's all a group that works together, and we get grants. We work on projects and get volunteers to help us keep it clean, keep things planted, and we just do a lot of the organization along that way.
Well, is it an organization where you look for volunteers to come and assist and so forth?
Oh, absolutely. We will have cleanup planting days at least once a quarter. We just had one in October. I'm sure we'll have another one somewhere around February. We have a web page at Lafayette-square.org, and we're on Facebook as well, and you can find the information of when we're doing things like that.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was going to ask. So you can go to the website and find all that information.
Yes, you can.
All right. Well, Lee, listen, that is just fascinating. 1788, the oldest square in the country.
Not the oldest square. No. We're not the oldest. It's
well,
just
you are now. I just said so.
One of the oldest.
Okay. Lee, thank you so much for taking time to be on the show. Happy holidays to you, and best of success as you go forward. We got one more guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Our final guest today is we always save on this show the best for last. So with that, we're very happy to have Sharree Bologna. Sharree is the executive director with JEDCO. And Sharree, you guys do such an amazing job. And with that, I don't think a lot of people really know a lot about what you do. And I know we're going to talk about the JEDCO Challenge, but just real quick, talk about the role of JEDCO, because to me, you are one of the engines that drive business in Jefferson Parish.
We certainly like to think so. Thanks for having me. First of all, most people hear about JEDCO when we land a new company or there's a big announcement in the paper, but the bulk of our work, the real heavy lifting comes when we meet with our existing companies and work with those companies to foster their growth, create jobs, and investment in the community. And that's really what our focus is.
Yeah. And Sharree, just real quick, I want to point out your website is jedco.org.
Correct.
All the information about JEDCO.
Everything you ever want to know about JEDCO.
You're not a chamber of commerce, but like a chamber of commerce, everything you want to know about the organization is on that website for sure.
That's correct.
Okay.
Anything from demographics, site selection, anything you want to know about the parish, you can find there.
And if I was a local business entrepreneur wanting to learn more about business opportunities in Jefferson Parish, I would certainly reach out to you.
Correct.
And we would discuss that and so forth, because you guys have landed some really big accounts. We're going to save that for another show.
Right.
But congratulations on that, because we want to talk about the JEDCO Challenge. This is your third year. And this is just an absolutely incredible opportunity for people to take advantage of. So I want you to talk about that.
third year doing the challenge. Pleased to announce for the second year we have First NBC as our title sponsor. But this is much like people are familiar with by now, Shark Tank.
Absolutely.
We encourage entrepreneurs that are either doing business in Jefferson or live in Jefferson to apply for the competition. We narrow it down to a field of 5 finalists. They get to pitch live before a panel of judges, 4 or 5 judges. They have 7 minutes to put everything they need to know, those judges need to know, out in front of the judges. They have a Q&A session, and then we select the winner from that group, and the winner walks away with a prize package worth $20,000 in cash, as well as some in-kind services. And one of the unique wrinkles, or a new wrinkle this year, is that our finalists actually get the opportunity to proceed on to the big idea pitch during New Orleans Entrepreneur Week and compete for an even larger prize.
Can you mention who the 2 previous winners were?
Last year's winner was a company by the name of Portavision, developed an X-ray technology machine specific to neonatal intensive care units. In fact, as we speak, he's at a conference in Chicago presenting to a conference for X-ray technologies. And the winner before him was Be Well Nutrition, the iconic health beverage, which is manufactured and done here locally.
So some big footsteps to follow.
Absolutely.
Here.
And the thing that I love about this competition is it's great to see what unique things are taking place right here in Jefferson Parish. You never think of these entrepreneurs doing these unique things, and they're just really fun to see.
Is there a deadline to enter?
The application deadline is December 12th.
Okay.
We're encouraging, if you know an entrepreneur, if you are an entrepreneur, get your application in. You can apply again on our website, JEDCO.org.
No cost to apply?
No cost to apply.
Is there a limit? Only the first number of companies?
No limit to apply. It's the companies have to have less than $500,000 in revenue, fewer than 5 people, and they have to do business in Jefferson. But we encourage anyone and everyone to apply.
Well, Jerry, they're giving me the sign to wrap it up, and they've got things in their hands. They're getting ready to throw. Again, we're going to have our Big 3, I like to call it. We're going to have you guys on another show and talk about the successes. It's been a great 2014 for the greater New Orleans area, and you are a major part of that, so congratulations on that. You've been watching Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer. Thank you so much for being a part of the show, and we'll see you next time.